Welcome back to the clinic.
Thank you so much.
So good to see you.
For having me. I'm so excited for this conversation and just like delve into
Get into it.
Yeah. So thank you. All right. So we are back for another episode with Dr. Ejikeme. This is our conversation around the world of aesthetics, you know, tweakments, treatments, technology, and sort of what we can be doing if we want to, if we feel like we, there are areas that we just kind of want to explore, then the reason I wanted to have this conversation is I think that, you know, there's so much out there, so much information, you know, we don't know what we can trust and so it's like if ladies are thinking about you know, different treatments for their face or their hair or their body, that we can sort of start the conversation around some of the options. And so today we're doing the big one. We're going to talk about the different sort of, I suppose, treatments and technologies, some of the options that are available when we're thinking about our body. So, you know, we've spoken about, you know, what the options for face and some of the different treatments that we can use for our face or for our hair. And so today, you know, it's body. And I don't know that there are many people in my life that wouldn't, you know, if they could change, you know, or tweak or, you know, just, I don't think that, or even if I think about myself, I don't think would want to have a surgery, for example. I would be too scared. I'm too chicken. I'd be too scared to have a surgery. But I know that there are things that you can do that can help with certain areas if they feel problematic to you. And so I wanted to just have a conversation with you about some of those things. Again, look, this is not, really and truly, no one really needs to do anything.
Correct,
It's not sort of to say, you know, you should do this, or, you know, it's just that if you're going to explore it, I'd love for you to reference this conversation, you know, hear from Dr. Ejikeme, who I trust and who is, you know, award-winning, and just then sort of as a place to start. And so the place to start is, if we're talking about the body, lots of ladies in my life, day in, day out, are always complaining about their tummy.
The tummy,
It's the tummy. And I know that there's lots of different areas that we're going to go into, but let's just start with the one that I hear about on a daily basis. And, you know, so if we're thinking about, you know, again, and I'm sure you're going to start with, look at your nutrition, look at your overall lifestyle. Absolutely. But what can we do about it?
Okay, the first thing I'll say that acknowledges the sensitive subject. Like, our bodies have been through so much. I've had 4 children. My body has changed so much. And having conversations about your body can be really nerve-wracking. And people often feel, oh, I don't want to do this. I want to do exercise and diet. And of course, that is the place to start.
Yes, let's be clear. It is the place to start.
Having a healthy lifestyle, doing exercise can be great. But I also know that some people have a very healthy lifestyle and still are disproportionate, have this tummy that just doesn't move in the same way that it did in
or
the
it
20s.
moves last.
Right?
So then you've been to the gym, you've done the diet, you've lost, you know, however much. Again, this is not about being skinny or anything like that. That, you know, it's about personal targets. But then you know, so if I think about myself, I wouldn't want to lose any weight personally off my face or off my sort of,
or off my hips,
or my derriere. But, you know, would I like after the babies, would I like a sort of firmer tummy? Yes, I would. Am I at the gym? Yes, I am. You know, am I trying with the diet? Yes, I am. But so, you know, for something like that, what options are there?
So the first thing is that if you've had babies like we have, you're going to make sure that you haven't got what's called a diastasis. So diastasis is basically when you're like, I feel like I'm still 4 months pregnant, that I've done everything, I'm exercising, my arms are lean, my legs are lean, but my tummy just won't go in. And this is something that may be a diastasis. And the way that you figure out if you have this is you lie down on the floor, you need a helper, and lie out on the floor, put your hand over your head and go like you're doing a sit-up. And if you see that there's kind of a bulge that comes out, this is a diastasis.
And for the record, just so you know, we are doing a 4th and final episode that's all around, you know, pregnancy, postpartum,
Yeah.
and for ladies who have had children.
Mm.
So we're going to delve into sort of things that you can do
Yeah.
post-pregnancy in the next episode. But yeah, just to...
But diastasis is not only caused in pregnancy.
Yeah.
You may never have had a child and you may still have a diastasis. It's caused by constipation, sitting for long periods of time, working out. Even men can have it sometimes. So it is something that is not only in post-pregnancy. So that's why some people feel like just doing that one test, you know whether you have it or not.
So you're looking for the bulge if you're sitting up.
And if you do have the bulge, very first place to start is with a physio to help try and bring that back. But there is a device that you can use too. That device is called the M-Sculpt. It uses high fem technology. So essentially it does three things. It tightens the skin, it dissolves fat, and it helps to stimulate the muscle.
Where is it? Where is that?
It's great. The thing that I like about it is that it's actually a physio device. It didn't start off as an aesthetic device. It started off as a physio device, and it dissolves not just the fat that you can feel, but the visceral fat, the bad fat. The visceral fat is the deep fat that sits around your organs. So it actually helps to dissolve that as well as superficial fat. It tightens the skin, and then most importantly, it helps to bring that wall together. So for a small diastasis, it works well. For grade 1, for grade 2. If you can put all 4 fingers into that, you need to go and see your doctor. This is well beyond anything. Yeah. So it helps to bring things back and to strengthen the muscles. And you can do it in combination with your diet, your exercising. It just kind of boosts things up.
So you're saying there is a machine that will dissolve belly fat or it's within reason.
Yeah.
And at the same time tighten the skin so that what you're not doing is sort of losing something and then sort of having the excess skin. And what was the other thing it does?
And build muscle.
And gives me a six-pack.
Well, well, you probably.
No, definitely not. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And again, it's because it's those... I didn't know that this machine, M-Sculpt
Neo.
Yeah, I didn't know that machine existed, sort of before our conversations.
Yeah.
And when I think about sort of, tummy, losing weight, I think of tummy tuck, which I personally would be too terrified to do. I think it's wonderful for some people, but I could not do that. However, this machine, and at the same time tighten the skin so then what you're not doing is sort of losing something and then sort of having the excess skin, or sort of achievable.
It's much more accessible.
Is it safe? Is it safe for, I suppose, now it's not necessarily, is it safe for women of colour or black women?
Yeah,
it's safe?
Certainly safe for women of colour. So there are many, many, many devices that have high fem technology.
Okay.
I have chosen the M-Sculpt Neo because it is safe, it is effective, it has evidence behind it. It was used in physio before. So I am not one of the people that jump on new treatments.
Okay.
I like to sleep, I like my patients to be safe, and I don't like trouble. So I make sure that I always invest in things that have long evidence behind it, have been around for a long time, and that's where we live.
This is why we're having the conversation. But no, that's good to know. So for the tummy, there are treatments out there. The M-Sculpt is something that you could have.
The M-Sculpt Neo.
Sorry, the M-Sculpt Neo.
There is a device called the M-Sculpt. It's an older version. It won't do all the things that we said.
Fine.
But the M-Sculpt Neo will do those 3.
Okay.
Dissolve fat, tighten skin, and muscle.
That's phenomenal. I didn't even, to have that, if it's something that's bothering you and you've tried sort of, everything else in terms of gym, diet, and you're still feeling that area is not as you may want it to be,
correct,
then that is an option.
Yeah. You do treatments once a week for 4 weeks, and that's it. So you have 4 treatments.
And that's it?
That's it. Now, you can imagine everybody starts off at a different place.
Of course.
But that's the treatment. You can then wait about 3 months, and you could do it again if you're starting from a different point. But most people, that's it.
Speechless.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's really lovely.
Okay. And then another area I think that a lot of women, regardless of, anything, the arms.
The arms, yeah. So with the arms, there's usually 3 concerns. One could be loose skin. The second might be loss of muscle mass. And the third might be excess fat that they're struggling to lose. So it's important to know that you can be working out and doing everything that you're supposed to, but everybody holds on to weight in different places.
Yes.
Some people it's underneath the neck, some people it's the tummy, some people it's the arms, some people it's the legs, and it just kind of holds on for longer. And so the treatments that I've described can be used in any body area that's holding on. So that's kind of the arms, the thighs, above the knees, the love handles, the banana roll above the bum. It can be used in lots of different places.
Yeah.
Listen, I like my banana roll, but
Yeah,
some people don't.
Yes, me too.
So-
but yeah, so
so
I've
some
just
people
never
don't.
heard it described like
Literally,
that.
I like it, but as big, the bigger the better. But everyone, each to their own.
Each to their own.
So the different areas people may want to sculpt.
Yes.
And so in terms of thinking about treatments, these are called energy-based devices. And there's some that tighten skin.
Okay.
There's some that dissolve fat. And there's some that stimulate muscles.
Okay.
And the reason I like to think about them together is that what you don't want to do is dissolve the fat and leave the skin behind. And we all should be thinking about stimulating muscle. As we grow, more muscle is good.
Yes.
Especially we want to have muscle.
Yes.
So again, thinking about, okay, I'm removing something, but I'm tightening the skin. So to tighten the skin, there are a group of devices known as HIFU, high intensity focused ultrasound, and they're different brands. The brands that we have been safe to be used on black skin, but there are lots of clinics that have HIFU devices.
Okay.
So that tightens the skin.
So HIFU is tightening the skin.
Tighten the skin, any part of the skin. So think about anywhere in the body you want to tighten. HIFU can almost be used anywhere.
And how do you execute HIFU? If I'm a woman coming to get that, what does that look like? What do I have my clothes on? Do I have my clothes off?
So the area that you're treating will be exposed and it will be done directly onto the skin.
Okay.
And that's an energy is passed onto the skin. That one is a little more uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little more
Getting
uncomfortable.
we're getting the
yeah,
real.
it's true. It's a little HIFU is a little more intense.
Okay.
And again, it can safely be done. Just make sure that the key with HIFU is that each of the cartridges do different levels of skin.
Okay.
So you need to go somewhere that they have lots of cartridges.
Yes.
So that could be a really easy question. How many cartridges do they have? They have 1 or 2 cartridges. They need to have lots of cartridges so that you can imagine the skin under the chin is different to my inner thighs.
Of course.
And my arms. So I need to have lots of options to do that safely.
What I'm hearing is that if you are thinking about having a skin tightening treatment, there are options. It's called
HIFU is an option.
HIFU as an option, but you want to be asking your doctor or your clinician how many cartridges they have and making sure that they are potentially using the right cartridge for the right area.
That's right.
Not doctor. I'm just like, this is why we're having the conversation.
So part of it is knowing the questions to ask.
Yeah, exactly.
So that opens up a conversation that they will then explain to you what the different cartridges are, what they do. They'll educate, will help you understand it. And that's the right question to ask.
This is not an advert, by the way. This is not, I can safely say that this is not an advert, but just come to the Adonia, keep it really and truly. I mean, let's be sensible here. Carry on.
So that's skin tightening. Then there are different devices that dissolve fat.
And so when we're talking about, you mentioned the M-Sculpt Neo, which dissolves fat and does lots of other things, but it dissolves fat. That's different to fat dissolving injections. Correct?
Yeah.
So we're not talking, what you're talking about, the M-Sculpt and what you're about to go, are not fat dissolving injections.
No.
Okay.
We'll show you later on, but you literally lie down and a plate is placed on the area, or the HIFU, something is placed on the area. So these are not, fat dissolving injections can be good.
Yes.
But these, what we're discussing now, are not fat dissolving.
Just so we know. Okay.
So the next is a fat reduction. So fat reduction can be with cold or can be with heat. So with cold, this is a fat freezing device. So a fat freezing device can be used in different body areas, such as the underarm, such as the inner thigh, such as around the tummy, to dissolve a larger pocket of fat.
Right.
And again, you're going to ask all the questions.
Yeah, because I've got questions. So it freezes your fat.
Yeah.
And then where does the fat go?
So the fat cells can be broken in different ways.
Okay.
If you freeze the fat cells will break. And
like
when they break,
like an ice cube.
Like an ice cube,
right.
Yeah. So it literally freezes them like a block, and then you do a rough massage that breaks it up. It obviously stays where it is, and then your body has these little cells that go around picking up broken cells, and it will take them away, and it will be excreted in your stool.
Is that safe?
So the right device,
yes,
and for the right person placed in the right way, can be very safe. So if you have a large pocket of fat,
yes,
then it will dissolve that. Well, it will freeze that pocket of fat. So that's freezing.
Okay.
You can also have what we talked about earlier, high fem technology, which uses radio frequency to heat that pocket of fat. And so you can freeze it, or you can use high fem.
So the options, if we're talking about, we're sort of talking about tummy fat, but it could be fat sort of
anywhere.
is that you can heat it and melt it. Would that be?
You can heat it and melt it. Yes.
Or you can freeze it and break it up like an ice cube.
Or you can inject it. That's the last one is with fat. You can have a fat dissolving injection to inject that fat. And obviously then you can lipo it. So those are all the options that exist.
Okay, so for fat, we can freeze it, we can melt it or make it warm. And how effective are these treatments? If you are a lady who has, is storing her fat, in her arms or on her tummy, and you come for a series of 4 Emsculpt treatments, or you freeze your fat, and again, results are going to vary. We're not here sort of saying that every woman that does this is going to have these results, and I don't even want you to make a claim. I suppose what I'm asking is, I imagine these treatments can be quite expensive. Are they worth it? Is what I'm asking. I don't want you to say yes. You're going to have a 6-pack.
You won't have a 6-pack.
Are they worth it? Do they work?
For me, they're worth it.
Yes.
And I believe in them. That's why I have them in my clinic.
Yes.
So they do work.
They do work.
They work for the right person.
Okay.
So part of this is doing a thorough examination and a history to see what is your concern.
Yes.